Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam-filtered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for die Guam, hear that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Clap, clap. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam source for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam-unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to month, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam-unfiltered. Everybody now, one-filtered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam-unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Pirates Cove in beautiful Ipan Telefofo. It's March 7, 2026. We're starting a new show today on Saturday morning with Bistra Mendiola. And we became so busy and overwhelmed with our Sunday Hafa Hour. Now we're going to do Saturday Hafa Hour to please more people. We'll be having great interviews, and Bistra will be here with anybody who would like to come in can tell us. And we will select senators. And today we got a great guest with us. And I hope you all stay tuned and enjoy. Senator, please come over.
Okay.
This is Guam's most popular senator,
I don't know about that, but good to see you, Jeff.
Telo Taitague.
Good to see you.
You met Bistra.
Oh, yes, beautiful Bistra. Of
Yes,
course.
she is, both of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to exit stage left.
Okay.
Please enjoy.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you
you.
for letting us use your bedroom.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jeff,
I'll be watching.
for the great introduction. So, you have a good morning, sir.
I do, so you always do.
I'll be coming for lunch after this. Okay.
So, let us begin with the fun part.
Okay. Hey, Bistra.
We've crossed paths already for a few elections, and over the course of all elections, we got to know each other a bit more. And I'm very, very excited to introduce you to somebody who is born on the same date as me.
That's right.
We are both born on May 14. The year
It's
doesn't,
different, yeah.
doesn't matter what year. So
Well, put it this way: age before beauty. Okay. So now you know who's older.
gracefully, let's age gracefully, right? So
Okay.
I was curious because we, being born the same day, we do share some traits, you know. We're both very strong,
Yeah.
very opinionated. We take charge when we need to, but we're also very down to earth and caring. And I was like, maybe we should check who else was born on May 14th.
Yes.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
curious?
Oh my gosh, yes, I am.
Okay,
That's
so-
be good to hear.
Yeah, so George Lucas.
Oh my gosh, I love his movies. I didn't realize that.
So we have great entertainers. Kate Blanchett, the actress.
Oh wow, I love her too.
Sofia
She's good.
Coppola.
Ah.
Tim Roth, those are great actors.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a techie who's a billionaire. Can you guess who that is?
Oh no. Well, Bill Gates.
Close.
Or Steve Jobs. Or
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh wow. Wow, you're kidding. You know, I can imagine how many, if it's the same day, how many others are just Tauruses, you know, are signed.
Yeah.
That's a trip, yeah.
And here's another one. We have a revolutionary, Che Guevara.
No.
Yes.
On the same day.
On the same day. So
That's so cool that you looked into
we're
that.
in we're in a very exciting group of people that has contributed to a lot of development and, I guess, revolutionary movement and thought around the world. Isn't that great?
Yep.
But also one very fun fact, there are also some events that happen on the same day.
Yeah.
And we have the founding of Jamestown. That's the
Oh,
first
wow.
American
Okay.
colony.
That's right.
And the proclamation of the State of Israel in 1948, May 14th.
May 14th, by the
Yes,
way.
Very
May
important
14th.
date. So let's continue with introducing you, who you are. Let us know what is your background, how you started your professional career, going back, because when we do a short format shows, we have only about 30 seconds to introduce ourselves,
yeah,
right?
it's true.
And
Or on the radio,
right?
right, yeah.
So we don't know a majority of our leaders in depth, and we don't know who they really are because we're all people, and the difference between voters and political leaders is that someone actually was brave enough to throw their hat in the ring and bring their life out there in the open. So sometimes it's good to take the different angle because we're all human and we all make mistakes, but we also do accomplish a lot. And there is a whole cycle of life before you step into the public arena that people don't know, but that cycle of life has shaped who you are today.
Yes,
So
I guess.
let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, first, I want to thank you for this opportunity. When you gave me a call to be on the show today, I was like, and knowing it's your very first show, First, I thought it was because we were born the same day, but but I've known you for many years, and I've admired your comments. I've admired your, what you've done in your life, and especially what you fought for too. Many times I saw you advocate for certain rights for the people of Guam, protecting our unborn, and you've always inspired me. So when you asked me to come here and sit next to you, I was honored. So thank you so much. And I truly believe in you. And I'm so glad you're putting your hat in the ring to try again. Because, a lot of people ask me, well, if I were to run, what do I need? Or some people say, oh, I can't run for senator because I don't have a law background or I don't have, some experiences in lawmaking or legislation and stuff. And I said, well, it's nice to have those things, but that's not the most important thing. So if you're going to run for senator, then I highly recommend that if you do that, you have at least 4 things. One, that you're morally and ethically sound as an individual. You're honest and fair. And those are the 4 things you really need to run as a senator. All the other stuff is things that you learn along the way. You have good people behind you. For instance, I have such a great staff. And I ensure that I surround myself with people who are very knowledgeable, who know about law, who are experts in certain fields that I'm looking in. And if I don't, then I go and I search for it. But those things come. But the most important thing, if you want to run and you have those 4 important things in your life where you're not self-serving, you're really there to want to help people in need, those less fortunate, those who've been trying to speak, but their voices are never heard. You have an opportunity, and I encourage you to run. This is your home. This is the part where you can actually make a difference. And whether some people call themselves, oh, I'm a nobody, or I'm not from this island or anything, but I love Guam. I love the people. And so that's my perspective on it, to run. You just need those good things, that honesty in your heart. And I'm pretty sure you'll do a great job.
Thank you for sharing that. Before you entered the political arena, you did have a very strong background in the music industry. You were a professional performer, vocalist, and musician, correct?
Yeah.
And also you did work in the tourism industry. Very similar paths, actually, because that's also the same path for me. I started at 16.
Oh yeah, oh you did, yeah.
Yes,
You started at 16
professionally,
as well.
Professionally I started at 16, very young, but I was going through school, and I was very passionate about the performing arts, so I did have a great chance to work with so many different amazing people. And then when it came to Guam, again, I was in the performing arts. I was involved with the Sandcastle show. And of course, that was already the tourism industry background and retail. So I kind of transitioned very smoothly from entertainment to sales and business. So it very similar path. So that's another thing for you guys to know, yes. Tauruses are probably the same.
Well, we're told, a lot of us that are in the industry that we're musically, we love music.
Yeah.
So like most people, but I think we dig deeper in it. It's in my heart. Well, with my background, my parents, my dad was a vocalist and a guitar player. In fact, his siblings, all 8 of them, were in a band back in the day. They played in what they called the Pala Pala Band. And so they all played music. And my grandmother and grandfather, my grandmother played harmonica, and my grandfather played guitar. And funny story was the first time I knew that they played, because I knew my uncles and my aunts and my dad played, but I didn't know they played at the time. I was sitting on the porch in Inalahan, grew up in Inalahan, and my grandfather started to play sitting on the porch overlooking the Inalahan Bay, playing guitar. And I would just, sit there in the hall listening to him. And then my grandmother, real strong woman. I mean, if there's anything about where I get, some toughness from, I think it would be from my grandmother, My grandfather taught me to be humble. And like my father, always instilled in me to be humble, be strong, have courage, ask the hard questions, and be humble about it. So my grandmother walks into the porch, right? And I just kind of, so she sits down, and then she takes her harmonica, and she goes like this, and I'm like, she has a harmonica, oh my God. And then she takes out her teeth and takes that harmonica and go, and I'm like, going like, oh my God, her grandmother's playing the harmonica. My grandfather's playing, and it's so funny to watch them together because, if he skips on a chord or goes in a different direction, because, blues, they play blues.
Oh, wow.
She would, hey, off of there, Jesus. Go back, and I would just love it. And I guess it just, just really resonated with me.
What fun memories are those?
Oh, yeah.
So
I'll never
great.
forget that. I'll never forget her taking out her teeth. So music has always been, I think I started, like you said, 16 years old. And I was at the top of the reef. And it was actually on a dare. I was at GW, going to GW school with my friends. We had just opened or not opened, I said like a bar, we're opening a bar, but no, back in school, in high school, we had a choir class, and we wanted to make this choir class very special. So we got permission from the principal, as well as the music teacher, to create a class, a 5th period class called swing choir. And they all agreed to it. So we created, and which swing choir is still happening today.
Really?
That's still since 19 forgotten.
Never mind.
And swing choir started at GW, which is happening today. And it was at that moment when we were all hanging out, and I actually auditioned as a guitar player. But the guys that were playing were so much better. Francis Guerrero, Joe Mesa, they were just better guitar players than I were. And they go, why don't you sing? I said, no, I want to play guitar. And anyway, so they said, sing. And then when I sang, they said, okay, throw away the guitar. You're singing. And then they dared me to do an audition at the top of the reef. There was an opening for a singer there. And, when you're young and they say, I dare you.
Of course you're going to go.
Of course you're going to go. So I went to, I said, okay, and went up there, I picked 2 songs, rehearsed it with the band, and the general manager came, and he heard me sing, and then that night he goes, okay, you got the job. And now you're in a reality check of, okay, I have a job now. So the job entailed that I would sing 6 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
From 9 to 2 in the morning.
Oh, that's a lot.
And I was still going to high school at the time.
Oh, wow.
So they told me how much I would make, and my eyes just went, oh, wow, that's really good money. So,
and the rest is history.
The rest is history. My dad, we had to make accommodations. My dad said no.
Of course.
He goes, no, you can't do it. But my mom, she pushed my dad to let me do it. So the one condition was that if I got a C on my report card, I had to have A's or B's. If I got a C on my report card, then
that's it.
Yeah, I was over. So I maintained it. I sang at the top of the reef for about 1.5 years, and I missed a lot of things, like football games and things like that. I worked 6 nights a week, went to school, but I enjoyed it. I went down a path that was actually embedded in me, so the love of music. And there's a big difference. Being a musician and a senator, well, when you're a musician, everybody loves you. They don't know who you are. They just love you because you're singing their favorite song, or you're just singing for them, or playing music. But when you're a senator, you get a whole different group of people who just automatically don't like you.
Yeah, there's always
because
opposition. There's dissent.
you have that
Yeah.
stigma as being a senator, and we don't like you. You know, and it's unfortunate because you get other senators who are not about helping the people and helping themselves, and that gives a bad reputation to those senators.
I see.
You know, who are trying to do good for them, you know, and then even as you're running, you know, Bistra, you'll see it, you know, they'll, when you come up to them and say, I'm running for senator, and they kind of look, oh, well, you know, what's in it for you?
Another one of those.
Yeah, it's like, but they don't see the part that you really want to help.
Before we continue though, Andrea, can we put
hi,
some
Andrea.
of the
Just want to give a
some
shout
of the
out.
photos? The senator was so gracious to provide us with some cool and interesting photos.
I had to dig for that.
Yes.
I had to go in these piles of
but,
old
but
stuff,
these are so awesome.
brush
So
it off.
I wanna, can we pull up picture number 2? I'm gonna,
Which one's
so
the-
this is the number 2. So tell us more about that. You look pregnant here. Did they give you a tummy?
Actually, you know, it's so funny because I have to tell you a story. I'll try and make it as quick as possible. As I was digging for these pictures for you 2 nights ago, or no, not last night, but the night before, the night before. So I'm digging through all this and trying to find something. You wanted something way back that I did a long time ago. Well, this picture was taken in North Carolina, and I did theater, which was a little bit different from my regular jazz musician or playing, you know, at bars and clubs and stuff.
Right.
So I got into theater when I went to North Carolina, and the girl that's right beside me, her name is Aline Quinn. And if you Google her, you know, Aline Quinn is the actress in the movie Annie, you know, tomorrow, you know.
Yeah.
So I played alongside of her. But what's ironic is last night I attended a meet and greet and reception for a woman with the Arts Endowment from the U.S., Margaret and Mary. Anyways, they had these 3 flute players that were playing, and they were really good, young girls with the Guam band, you know, that's here. What is it called? The, you know, what's his Milton, who's the director.
Sure. Yeah,
anyway, so they were performing last night. So the last song, they had 3 songs. The last song they were doing, 3 flutists, they played the song, and I go, I know that song. Oh my God, I know that, I can hear it, because they were playing classicals, and then, but that one I knew, and I go, oh my God, that's Shenandoah. I know that song, that's Shenandoah. Well, it's ironic, because the night before, that's the play I played in, Shenandoah. And Shenandoah is not a song you hear every day or every year or once a year or every 5 years. The last time I heard Shenandoah was like maybe 15 years ago, maybe even further. And I pull up that picture, Shenandoah. The next night, I get 3 flutists playing the song Shenandoah. How ironic is that?
It's called serendipity.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
A lot of that happens a lot of times, you know.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
I mean,
that's why we're doing this today, folks, because as I mentioned, the whole cycle of life in a person, it's something that should be shared with the world, you know, especially when it contributes to a personality and to the leadership. You know, that the passion for arts also can be translated as passion for politics, because regardless what the bad rep might be, a lot of the folks out there are actually very passionate about the issues that they want to defend, and they want to make the Guam population feel better, just like any musician would do. So there are certain similarities, at least that's my take on it. But, you know, actually mentioning that, in one of the articles that you sent me, I think that was the Roberto Fracassini one, I believe. So there was a passage there that kind of struck me. So it kind of develops further what I just said. Let me pull it up because I want to read it. I
didn't have a chance to read it. I just found pictures and threw it to you.
I did, and when I went through, I was like, oh wow. So the article, let me see what is it.
What number is it?
I think number 5. Yeah. So the article says this one.
Okay, no, that's not Roberta Francescini.
Is it?
No,
Oh,
that's North Carolina.
Okay.
This is Roberta Francescini.
okay, so that's number 8. Sorry.
Number 8.
Yeah.
8, yeah.
So
you can see me in blonde wig on number 5.
Yeah. So here what it says. Many people think a musician's life is easy and carefree, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes. A lot of responsibilities involved in a business, so you have to have good relationship with management as well as your audience at the club. I could easily switch musician with a politician or a senator because there's a lot of things that are going on in the back scenes that the audience, the public doesn't know, but they're very important steps on the way, and it would be interesting to move into that area of the whole legislative process and discuss,
the process.
The process, and probably you can share with us what is your current pending legislation that you might have. So let's move on to that. But before we do, folks, let's not forget that this show was brought to you by Jeff's Pirates Cove, the Guam Directory, Save Our Startup, and of course, American Medical Center. So thank you, sponsors, for making this show possible. And let's go back to our topic of discussion, which is, of course, your legislation. I know that you recently, as recent as last year, moved quite a few bills that were pertinent to the Guam Election Commission's improvement in the process. Also, proof of citizenship to align the federal requirements for voters. Also, the financials. There are so many bills that were moved. But do you have anything that pops in your mind, like top-notch, most favorite bill that you introduced and passed into law? Like something that you're really proud of?
Well, I've been a senator since the, actually I was a senator in the 30th Guam legislature back in 2008, served one term there, and then I went to Governor Calvo's administration for 8 years. Actually, I would have to say 6, 7, 8, about 6 years, 6.5 years, everything from being a special assistant for 4 years. So I learned a lot, being in the administrative side, how things work, how things move. So went to the school of hard knocks there, and understanding just government, public service.
Wasn't that the time that you were director of GVB?
Then 4 years there. Then I went to GVB, and I became the deputy general manager of GVB. And then after that, I had left. I came down with a sickness, that I had to take care of. I had cancer. And so I went down that road of recovery and tried to fight it. And
we know that you're a fighter. We know that you're a fighter. So
knock on wood.
You beat
7
that
years
monster.
Strong, and those who. So I guess when you talk about legislation, one of them, of course, is cancer.
Yes,
everything I can do
is
as
passionate.
Very passionate, and I'll get to that one. But then after that, I went to GITA, so I had an opportunity to work there. Before that too, I was a business owner. I had a business owner, and I ran a business for several years, 2 businesses actually, side by side, before getting into the arena of running. So, and then prior to that, I think people said I've sold ice to Eskimos, I've sold water beds, everything from, Bose speakers to, things like that. So, so that, attributing all my experiences exactly like you said, as an individual, you pick up all these things along the way, and you see what people really need, or you experience it firsthand. I think I touched that. Experience it firsthand, what it's like to go through, a heart disease, something that hits you, your health. You go through, my parents were not rich at all. They weren't even in politics. They they're just your average individual. Parents had worked almost 2 jobs, each, to sustain 5 growing girls, by the way. So, when you live it, then you're more passionate about it, you understand it. And whether you haven't lived it, but you've seen other people go through it. So you bring that to the table.
There's the 2 scenarios. I've noticed that typically when someone decides to go and throw their hat in the ring, it's either you have experienced something and you're so super passionate about improving an issue or contributing to development of something else, or vice versa. Someone brings up something so tragic or so emotionally moving that you go ahead and start defending, their right to improve, whether it's a life situation or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. It takes a lot of strong emotion and passion about an issue.
And that gives you the energy to fight for something. Yeah. And you do. You get very passionate about it. So you asked the question. I know we can get off.
We can go
we can
on
get off
forever.
and get off trail here, but
current legislation that you want to see passed.
One, we've known that the Cancer Care Trust Fund. Okay, that's one that the Cancer Care Trust Fund has been neglected for many years. Since I came in the 35th. It's been neglected. And so there was one year they didn't even get any money going to it. And there's a law already out there saying that get a certain percentage of the Healthy Futures Fund to go there. And to the Cancer Care Trust Fund, which, by the way, gives money out to all these nonprofits that helped many, many thousands of people on the island, from the Edward Calvo Foundation to the Cancer Foundation. We've got many other places, Aduda Foundation giving airline tickets. I mean, there are several nonprofits who go out to help individuals who don't have the funding to cover. And timing is everything. When you get a sickness like that, it's timing. You can't wait, because the longer you wait, things spread. And but preventive also, Total Guam is a great entity too that helps individuals with cancer, but they even have pre-screening, which that's the key. A lot of people are afraid to go in to get a checkup because they might find something. Well, that's when you need to go in. And if you do find something, then you have an opportunity to nip it in the bud. And for me, I've been a stickler about going every year to get my checkup. Anything comes up, I've been a stickler because I've seen, my mom who passed away from cancer. And it could have been preventive.
I have 2 relatives actually that passed away from cancer.
People.
So I am
my sister Kayla
in tune with that emotion and sentiment, because you can't wait. And with the current state of our medical health care and the shortage of specialists, I mean, there's so many things that the legislature can do. And it wasn't just recently the bill that we saw about improving
foreign doctors.
The foreign doctors bill.
Yes, that's my bill that I've introduced as well.
Right.
So the foreign doctors, the cancer care, by the way, so the bill that introduced is just to ensure that the cancer care gets at least $4 million, which is usually what they were supposed to get umpteen years ago. Every year at least, if not more, depending on the Healthy Future Funds. And Healthy Future Funds is an account that collects taxes from sin taxes.
Right.
Cigarette, tobacco, alcohol, things that goes into this account. And the law states a certain percentage goes to certain areas in the government for health. And they just haven't been getting it. So the bill that we passed requires them to get the $4 million every year. Now that bill already passed.
Yeah.
Now the next bill that we have is to ensure that that even if the Healthy Futures Fund is
dipping because we have less smokers today, we have more vapors because some are switching.
And so we need to talk about that one too.
That's the dip. But there was a legislation that didn't pass about the vaping tax. It wasn't accepted by the governor.
Well, actually, the bill needed to get through another process. And the thing is, you can't drop the ball. You know, you get many senators going out there, you know, advocating for one thing or saying, you know, I'm going to be tackling this, and then they just say it for the cameras, and then it ends. Nobody follows through.
Talking about the legislative process right there,
Yeah,
because there's so many bills that are great bills. They get introduced, they move through the committee, get the voting, and then sometimes they go on the floor, and sometimes they don't. It really depends on the committee. So.
That's true.
That's the problem, and you know, I just heard one of your colleagues who's running for governor talk about the same thing. Sometimes because the bill comes from the wrong aisle, it doesn't get moved. So we need to stop that nonsense, folks.
Yeah, we need to take ego out of the legislature.
Correct.
And you know, what's really great now compared to before, where we didn't have like podcasts, or we don't have the ability, YouTube, where you can really watch the session. And I'm finding more people since COVID, you know, everybody was staying home, right? So they were watching the legislature.
A lot of people do.
And they can see, I mean, people are not dumb. You know, don't never underestimate, you know, a homeless person. They know what's going on.
Or
you know,
anybody.
And they can see right through you. If you're not being genuine or, you know, genuine, then they can tell you. And they have no shield. They'll tell you. You know?
Unfiltered. So that's what we do here. We're unfiltered.
Yeah, they'll tell you. So it's important that the people see that, because you got to be an educated voter, meaning know who you're voting for, not because they're a friend of your friends or that somebody came up to ask you to vote for them. No, you know, you need to vote for someone who's going to care for your island, to ensure that your future is going to be there for your kids, your grandchildren. You're going to ensure that today everyone has a fair opportunity. It's not the selected few or the entitled. It's everyone that we need to. And sometimes, you know, when you get party politics, you're right. It stops it because it's from the other aisle. And that is so sad. And that's when I get mad. You know, people always say, she's a toughie, or they call me you know, I'm hearing that I'm supposed to be the
toughie, right?
More, that's being nice. You
that's
know,
being
I've heard
nice.
other words about
the
it.
B word, right?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna, okay.
But do you ever notice that for women, when we stand up and fight, put our fist up, and we speak loud and
we put our foot down,
and
like,
put our foot down.
Stop the nonsense now.
We're given a title.
Yeah.
You know, the B word.
It's not proper.
The B word.
It's not proper, right?
But when a man stands up, puts his foot down, and puts his hand up, all of a sudden he's a strong man. He's a fighter.
Bravo.
But women, we're titled with that. Well, guess what? I'm going to own it. Because if you want somebody to fight for you on a cause you see that's important for our island, who do you want fighting for you?
Not the nicey.
You can be nice. Don't get us wrong, right? Because Bistra, you're one of the nicest people with tact. You know, more tact than I have. I get it straight to the point. I make sure nobody misunderstands what I'm trying to say. And if somebody comes in front of me and gives me an answer to a question I have that I feel is not true, you're not lying to me. You're lying to the people of Guam. Because they asked me to sit here and ask the hard questions.
Well, that's why they call it. That's why they call it politics, correct? So let's be unfiltered here, because you know, being in politics, yes, you do have to be a diplomat. You do have to know how to work with people. Right. You need to balance, you know, certain issues, and I've seen that. There's some great politicians out there that will learn how to balance and move smoothly between the aisles, right? And there are others who are, you know, either more stubborn or just more inexperienced.
But you always have to watch for those two, because it's there's a thing that really upsets me in the legislature when you hear senators saying, "Oh yeah, hey, vote for my bill," and I'll vote for yours. And never knowing,
scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
And never knowing what the bill is about.
Right.
never knowing what it's about. And it just boggles me, to see that happen. So every bill that comes, like, I can speak for myself, I hope I'm not keep hitting the microphone, but I can speak for myself that when bills come to me, I research every single one of them. And I find out if this is going to be good for the people, can we afford it, number one. And it's one of the hardest things that we have to do is balance the budget. How are we going to be able to fund this area that's critical? And then this area is just as critical.
And there are way too many branches, and there's a lot of monkeys on them branches. So
Yep.
doing that balance to figure out the balance sheet at the end of the fiscal year, that's you probably need a accounting degree for that. And it's just amazes me sometimes how even certain agency, I've noticed that certain agency heads, they don't understand how budget works, and it's crazy. I mean,
speaking of a bill, you asked about some of the other bills. I actually introduced a bill that would fine directors. I'm notorious for introducing bills, fining directors who are not doing their jobs. I mean, here are these directors making, six-figure digits, and they're not doing their job, but they're getting away with not providing the information that's needed or not being transparent. So I think I've introduced one bill that fines directors if they don't submit their budgets to OFB in time, that OFB has the ability to fine them. I leave it up to OFB because he would know the logistics on why they are late, to give that leeway. And but if they're not, and constantly just not providing the budgets in time, because we need that. We need to know what the audit report is.
Because you need to finish your portion.
We need to do our part.
Yeah.
So of course that gets vetoed.
Of course.
And I introduced another bill to fine directors on the ARC, where these direct certain agencies that have to approve permits. Zone changes of permits, and it goes through EPA, it goes to land management, it goes through BSP. All these agencies have to approve something, and they have 30 days, and sometimes
it's not enough?
They're lacking. It's been like 90 days, and you have to remember, it's an individual who submitted a permit to open up a business, build an apartment, build housing, open businesses. And the longer they have to wait for their permit, they lose money.
A lot of money.
And next thing you know, by the time it's done,
especially if
they've lost it.
Especially in the construction business, I know that for a fact.
Especially,
that permit, if you're lucky, 12 to 18 months. And the sad part is that during those 12 to 18 months, cost of labor may have increased, the cost of concrete may have increased, and those are, or even the APR at the bank may have increased, because these things are not going down, they're going up.
Right.
And that's millions of dollars, especially if that's a big project, if that's an apartment complex that we direly need. So what's going on?
And then, so when you see things like that, right, as a legislature, you see problems like that, you just don't want to talk about it. You want to do something about it. And I'm one of those who, I do it. You give me the problem, like the election commission that we talked about earlier, that you brought up, with Maria Pangilinan, great staff over there. They have these bills that they needed. They had these changes to the rules and regulations. They had these concerns about privacy.
Yes.
And so as the oversight chair, I went to them and said, what can we do to strengthen your agency? Let's not just talk about the problem, let's fix it. So,
and that's how
and that's what I did on that bill, the ARC bill that fined these directors. So that, just to let you know, so it was vetoed.
Of course.
Again, it was vetoed.
Maybe
so
came from the wrong side of the aisle.
I think I'm the highest votes are vetoed by this administration. But But I
hold the record
too.
Do you hold the record?
I probably hold the record for most vetoed by the governor. But
Andrea,
I'm happy.
Maybe we should do like at the end of the year we tally who got the most approved bills, and then who got the maybe we should start giving trophies.
But this year has been great. I've been able to veto. I've been able to
pass.
No, override.
Override. Oh,
You know,
my favorite.
Yeah, override at least 1, 2, 3. Well, not the third one. I introduced a bill. No. So I introduced bills that I didn't. You asked me a question about which bills are the worst ones.
Right.
And I said, ooh, okay, I can name 2 of them. So what did I do? These bills were very bad, and I introduced legislation to repeal it.
Yes, I
So
know which
those
one you're
I
talking
did,
about.
2 of those bills.
Wasn't that a fireworks
But-
bill? One of them, right?
Yeah, one of the
Yes.
fireworks bill, and the other one was a contract allowing the governor or even boards to lease our land that the people own longer than 100 years or longer than 50
Long
years for
time,
like
yeah.
even $1.
For what? A penny on the dollar or just a dollar?
It's like the most craziest bill.
Wow.
That was the bill when we had Governor Calvo, Governor Joe Ada, we had BJ, we had the Attorney General, all coming to testify in support of amending that law that was actually passed at the very first of this of this legislature. And we tried to explain that that this is going, if you scratch this out, it's going to allow the governor or any board of directors to lease land longer than 15 years, maybe 100, for whatever amount they want. And the bill still passed. And it was like, what? So
The question
I
is,
went ahead and introduced a bill to repeal it. It
bono,
won, by
right?
the way. She vetoed it. She vetoed it, of course, but guess what? It was overridden. So that one was overridden.
yeah, but
And
those
fireworks.
are the everyday issues that plague your desk. I'd
That's just
say.
on the weekday.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what happens on the weekend?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but and I don't want to discourage anyone out there who's listening.
No.
It's. I have to say, being a senator, it could be very thankless.
Yes.
But where it comes to play, where you are grateful, is when you do good and that bill does pass and you see it come to fruition. I think one of them was the favorite bill that you asked me, my favorite bills.
Yeah.
Of course, the ultra-low sulfur diesel bill that I did when I was in the 30th, that was a long time ago, has always been a favorite. But I think my number one favorite was the host community bill. Now, it did more than provide these villages that had to host the dump, having it in your back door.
Right.
ORDOT for many years had, and still up to this time, have the stigma of knowing, okay, when you say ORDOT, what do you think of?
You think of the dump. Yes.
So having that. And then it moved to my beautiful village of Inalahan. And now they have that stigma. So it's been done in the past in other jurisdictions in the States. And what the bill does is basically gives a certain percentage of the tipping fee to those villages to allow them to do any kind of beautification, to help alleviate hosting the dump in their backyard, because there's a lot of things come with that, if it starts on fire, leaks, chemical leaks coming in the area.
Absolutely.
But I have to give my hat out to Mayor Jesse Gogui of Ora Chalampago. So he took that and he saved the money for years. And that came out to building a multi-purpose center that not only helps his villages, but in the event of a typhoon, something going on, everybody can go there from the other villages to hunker down instead of going to the schools. They have a huge facility to do other things to help not just ORDOT, but other communities. And I'm just really so proud of what they did.
Oh, he is also very proud. He's actually from my village, and I just recently met him because we were exchanging some. Gosh, was it produce? I forgot something. He was picking up some produce from my husband. So we talked shortly about that, and I know that he's super proud of that building. So kudos to him.
Yes, and to everybody on the island, because it's a facility that can be utilized by every village, and it did take a while, but they were able to do it. And things like that, they I'll probably forget if you did the bill, but it's when you stand in front of there and you see, okay, it feels good and it fills your heart, and that's all you need.
Yeah. The satisfaction
just
level
knowing
is through the
it
roof.
worked, it worked, and then that's it. And you sit back and find what else you can do and keep moving forward. You don't linger on anything, you don't linger on failures, you don't linger on things that actually, great awards of things you've done. You just have to keep moving forward. So even though it can be a thankless job, there are things where you truly want to help an individual, you want to help the people, your island, then go run for senator.
There is always
and
positive and negative in every experience, but
you just need those 4 things, though.
Yeah.
Remember, integrity, moral ethics, goodness, honesty. That's the criteria, to
so
be
hopefully
a good
hopefully the
senator.
positive will outweigh the negative.
Oh yeah, and we pray for that all the time. Oh my God, please.
Well,
Don't let that evil thing go through,
Talking about prayers, we do have a lot of prayers going out in the current situation with the Iran attack. There's growing opposition to it in the United States across both aisles. There's a lot of concerns with the actual developments, how that affected us. We already saw it at the gas pump. That was the first thing to be reminding us that something's happening on the other side of the ocean and continent. You were on the committee that is concerning defense and what was that?
Yeah, I actually oversee the military buildup.
There you go.
And working with the military, finding out. In fact, it's a good opportunity to let the people know that in April, hopefully, probably the 3rd week of April, or the last, we're still trying to get confirmation, considering the situation, ensuring that the admirals, or at least a representative, come to a public information hearing. Now, last year, I had a public information hearing on the military buildup in April of last year. Prior to that, they hadn't had one since 2017.
Oh, wow.
So I think that it's so important that the people of Guam knows exactly what's going on in their backyard, and how it's going to affect their lives. So the military buildup, not only them, but I'm inviting the JRM, Joint Region Marianas, to come. SIDLO, which is formerly used to be the military buildup, is now called SIDLO. And it's an acronym, Community Liaisons Office Development or Defense, right? SIDLO. And then you have, I also have coming to the table, very important, of course, the governor's liaison to military is Carlotta Leon Guerrero. She'll be there. And then, of course, Esther Aggie from Homeland Security. Because that's, if anything, that's going on right now. I mean, we hear in the news on the international side what's going on. But what we need to hear is the local side.
Yeah.
And what's scary about it is that Department of War, DOD, they ensure the protection of the U.S., on warfare.
And their military installations, but what about the civilians?
And they're, exactly.
Right.
It's their members that they have to take care, inside the fence, they're members.
Yeah.
But what about local?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that because we saw it once in history during World War II, where they picked up and left, rescued everybody, and who was here, left alone the local Chamorro population. Yeah. So this is a very concerning issue to me. And I actually, the first time I realized how vulnerable Guam is in terms of the supply chain issues, that was during COVID. The 2020 was abundantly clear how vulnerable we are, because when you start seeing produce just getting wiped out, and it becomes, there's a light bulb that kind of starts shining, and you start thinking, okay, if this thing repeats itself, or a similar situation, how do I protect my family? How do I ensure that they're not going to be affected by some riots or a criminal activity? So you kind of start to become extremely conservative in certain areas of life, and you start to become this almost like it's a very filled with stigma word, but it's called prepper. And those are people that exactly know what to do and how to survive should
And I know you're a
doo-doo
prepper.
hit the fan, right?
Oh yeah,
So
and I definitely know this woman's a prepper. Everything from growing her own vegetables, being sustainable.
Yeah.
And we all know that in this whole situation that's coming about. And you know me, I'm blunt. I make sure you understand what I'm asking. And I don't want to beat around, say something that's going to be, you know, a whole paragraph before I ask that one little tiny thing that I really wanted to know. And I said bluntly to the Admiral, if war were to break out, there's an attack in Taiwan, for instance, or they're, you know, cyberly it's hitting us, are you going to, you know, let us know? How are you going to let the civilian population know here? And I bluntly asked him, and he bluntly said, we won't.
Yeah.
We don't.
So be prepared.
And then I said, okay, then who does? And they said, your Homeland Security. So we need to up that, you know. Homeland Security is our line of information, is the one that will give us the SOPs. Now, the way I oversee technology as the oversight chair in technology. And I have an AI task force coming up March 17th. That's going to be very interesting. We've got a task force going. We've got all the people in play. We have Homeland Security there. We have cybersecurity talking about that AI, deep fake, the integration of AI. But one of the things that we're thinking about right now that is really apparent is cyber hits. Now, are we going to get attacked by missiles, Bistra? Or are we most likely going to be attacked cyberly? And what happens if there's a cyber attack on our island where our power is out?
Yeah.
Well, we're all resilient typhoon survivors, right?
Yeah.
So we can do without power. That's not a problem. But water goes out.
Yeah.
Now it's getting very scary.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have water, what happens then?
Disease
and they can
comes.
go into our and they go into our infrastructure
Yeah.
and they eliminate that because everything is so it's cyber that they'll go after water. Our banks will be shut down, our gas stations that all deal with that. So what we need is a plan on what is the alternative. If all these shut down, the power that do they have a manual access to this? You know, if we go into cyber shutdown, how are we going to notify, you know, the public? Is there going to be something? We got to go back to old school.
Yeah.
We got to go back to 1970s, how we were able to reach out to the public. And then the
Like
sirens are
certain
not hitting everybody.
radio points.
And that's a thing called the iPause.
Yeah.
iPause is generated through, you know, being able to notify the public if something were to happen like instantly. Right now, if earthquake, I mean, many of us receive these alerts.
Yeah.
Right, from earthquake, maybe about 10 minutes after it happened.
Yeah, very
or 5
good.
minutes after.
What's
So
the point?
what this new system does through FEMA, it's called iPause, IPAWS. Literally, when you get that first jerk, your phone already goes off.
Right.
You know, just that first jerk, earthquake, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Almost
And
instantaneously.
that happened to me in actually Taiwan. When I was visiting Taiwan for a conference there, it was on the 37th floor of a building, and I didn't realize Taiwan had earthquakes in the first place. It kind of freaked me out.
Oh,
Am I in Guam or?
Oh, yeah.
So it went like this, and boom, on my phone. Now this is a Guam phone, and I'm in Taiwan. That alerted right away.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving next week to a seminar. It's a symposium on cybersecurity and drones, then hopefully meeting with FEMA on the iPause, and then Indo-Pacific next week. And these are information that is going to be very helpful as we move forward to assist these agencies like our Homeland Security. What do they need? They need something, and they need it yesterday. Or last year they needed this to notify the people of Guam. And we need to get on the ball in this. It's stop pointing fingers now. Now is the time to, we can't afford to point any fingers. We're not in war right now.
Technically we are, but we just don't know it yet.
No, technically.
Technically we are.
Until Congress declares war. We are not war. Right now we're in a, what did they call it? The epic...
it's a military action, but that's
Action,
what.
exactly.
But that's the exact same thing
There's
what
another
Russia
word for
said
it.
about attacking Ukraine. It wasn't a war. It was just a special military action.
Right.
So I mean, you can use
Operation
whatever.
Epic
Fury, something like.
It's an operation going on. So are we at war? No, they'll tell you no, we're not. But we're in Operation Epic Fury.
But I
like
beg to
Operation
differ.
Iraq, Operation Afghan, things like that. So regardless if it's not even a war that triggers Homeland to let us know, it doesn't matter. Any kind of ruckus that's going on with the U.S., we are involved. And we need to know this, like, the instant it happens, because our SOPs, our procedures on what the people of Guam need to do in a situation where it's going to attack us, whether it's going to be by missile or cyber. And then we also need to discuss, our ensure that Indo-Pacific, and I'm hoping to bring this up, that we're already seeing our stockpile of missiles that are supposed to be on Guam to protect us here, and they're using that.
But we don't have the THAAD system, do we?
That we have missiles here that also protect us right now.
But I remember
But
we were
that-
supposed to install these next to the
There are
medical
about
complex.
16 missiles
Yeah,
out.
throughout the island.
But they're stockpiled for us, set aside. But now with this operation, epic Operation Fury going
They might
on.
need it back over there, right?
I mean,
And we're getting
let's hope they're
exposed.
not depleting,
Right.
Because it's not infinite on these missiles, and they're not depleting our stockpiles. So we want to find out about that, and we want to know that it's still there's U.S. military is still going to ensure that our families, our island, our everything is protected. And that's why we all have to get on the ball with this, help Homeland Security to get whatever they need. They're in trouble right now.
Yeah.
We all know the issue about the audit that's going on. There are certain people who've been, even charged on this.
Is that serious?
Yeah, oh yeah, the abuse of the funding, how now the infusion center that we had that correlates the federal along with our agencies, our public safety agencies, have been jeopardized, and they're moving out. And now's not the time for us to lose a fusion center who notifies us during emergencies.
Yeah.
So it's time we all put our heads together and assist Homeland Security, and even assist the governor wherever we can to get it up and running. Because what's scary is that did you get a notice, or anybody getting a notice when Epic Fury happened on Saturday? When did we get a notification?
I just had to watch it on YouTube.
Actually, YouTube or no, I mean for Guam to get one.
Yeah.
We didn't get one until Thursday.
Yeah, no.
How many days after that we get notification?
Senator,
Thursday.
we're always at the end of the line. We're not a priority to the United States of America, so we all know that. But what the citizens
we can make ourselves.
But what the
stand up.
citizens can and should be doing is building that resilience by themselves. And what the government could help with is probably sponsoring like first aid kits, desalination supplies,
Desalination's good.
flashlights,
Right.
freeze-dried food, which is super
Right.
easy to store pretty much anywhere, and it could last up to 20 years. So once you buy it, you can actually store it. So I think this is what the government can help with. And I'm not talking about procurement here. Maybe we could shift the execution towards the people who are ready, able, and willing to protect themselves first and their family. So we issue a grant instead of going after agencies, and we stifle the process through the BS with procurement, et cetera, et cetera. There's always going to be someone that's going to be unhappy with who won the bid, correct?
Right.
So, I mean, to avoid that, just do a grant. Just what they did probably last year, the small farmer grants, like here is your seed, here is your package,
Right.
Go do it. It was about $5,000, something like that, which was an awesome, excellent
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
And that is actually through, I think, the Lilian Guerrero administration, that grant went out. So similar to that, let's think about that. So maybe here's another bill you can introduce.
Yep.
There you go.
You got a lot of ideas. She does. You know, I have to tell you.
Totally.
See?
I have to jump in. Oh my, okay, so that grant is such a great idea, but sovereign safety.
Yeah.
So a grant on sovereign safety,
Yep.
we talked about this, like, was really deep into AI.
Yeah.
But what if Jack Dorsey recently, well, maybe it was last year, he released an app called BitChat, which uses, and this is important for notifications, he said, how do we fortify our sovereignty in the event that the federal government is no longer going to tell us what happens?
Is
if they're not
nowhere
here?
to be found. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
So these applications, so sovereignty in terms of security and safety locally can be sort of like, if you can imagine a lighthouse, each home is a lighthouse on their own.
Right.
So they stand on their own, meaning that their local devices, this is what the grant can fund.
Yeah.
Devices that allow local networks to communicate, sort of like the modern day walkie-talkie that does not require Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so that is something that we can build on each and every person's phone. So it's not reliant on any
On
network.
Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And that's the iPOS, what it does. Excellent. You know, it's so great because Andrea, you know, what you said sparked it. No, I'm telling you, Andrea, I mean, for you to jump out behind the scenes, you know, I wish the camera can turn around and see, come here. I want people to see you. Because this is, you know, behind every great show, there's a great producer.
Andrea.
Yeah, this is Andrea. Say hi.
Hi.
And she just gave a whole scenario that affects her. And it just, this is the reason why I decided to come on the show with Bistra, because I believe in her. And I think the ideas that she has are excellent. Now, there's some things that she and I disagreed once.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we were on the phone. I mean, literally just, you know, trying to get the other person to think my way and her to think her way. But at the end, when we had that discussion, I mean, you know, we can agree to disagree when we end it and realize, okay, that's how, but I still have my belief, she has her, and I will respect it. But the problem is, you don't get that. You know, when I was in the 30th, I was amongst real excellent senators who had that persona of agree to disagree to a T. And I learned from that, you know. Nowadays it's changed so much, but this woman, and it's just amazing. Her ideas are there, and her push, enthusiasm, and like I said, everything's about follow through, follow through.
Yeah.
You know, you can say it and then just forget about it, but not this one. And if anything
don't let
happens,
go.
if we go cyber out, I'm going to her house because talk about survival or prep, you know, she has a green thumb. I don't have a green thumb.
My husband is better, but I'm learning.
Oh my gosh. I mean, plants will die. I will definitely starve. You know, that's going to happen to me because I don't have a green thumb. But Bistra has everything going. I mean, so I'm just honored to be here with you. Because you do have a lot of great ideas.
And hopefully we will work on them together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Or, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
Take over.
Take
It's the
over.
next generation to take over. I'm here to help, you know, that next generation, because you need
There you
to,
go.
as they always said with women, when I was the director of the Women's Bureau, and I always thought that as women, as we rise, we must also lift
other women.
you know, and we get there. So I think you're going to do an excellent job. And
Plus,
I totally,
we need
sorry to sound like an endorsement, but you know, I think it already
shameless
is.
plug.
And I'm not doing it because we're friends. I'm if people know me, you know, I'm straightforward, I'm blunt, I'm to the point. I don't endorse just anybody, you know, I don't. And but with Bistra, and I've worked with her for many years, and she would call me, hey, Why aren't you guys doing this? And then, she's doing a lot for the community right now.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much more she can do as a sitting senator.
Not many people know, but I constantly try to put it out there in the Wi-Fi cyberspace that I'm doing my homework before I get in, because you have to be ready to move right away. And the more you wait, it just takes more time, and you don't have much time. Like talking about the legislative process, right? So you introduce a bill and then you put it in committee. How long does it take for that bill to be even
Well, it
voted out?
takes a while, but it's there for the process. And the reason why, we talked about AI. So in the process of a bill, when it's been introduced, you try and make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's on the bill to make sure it's legal, that everything's in there, that you're not, overstepping federal laws, you're not overstepping other laws that would just break it down.
Unconstitutional.
Or unfunded.
Or unfunded.
Or unfunded.
Yeah.
And then it gets a public hearing. Once it has a public hearing, we hear from the people of Guam. We send out invitations to stakeholders, people who are experts in the field, to ask them to come and testify. And sometimes that's not done by senators. They put it out there and hope nobody shows up, so this bill will just pass without being scrutinized. And that's not fair. Because after all that public hearing is done, everything is completed down to in a format called the committee report. Talks about when the bill was introduced, when did the public hearing notice go out to the public to notify them, the second notice, and then a digest translated on verbatim that was put out. Now, and then all the testimonies that people submitted are attached to that, and you can find that on the legislature. So if you have a particular bill that you're very interested in, and it's already on the session floor. And that's why it's so important that when we put out an agenda for the people, it has that 5-day period. That's the time where I know Bill 143 is coming on the agenda. Bill 1, 2, 3. You go to the legislative website, you look for that bill, and you punch on committee report, and then you can see how that bill, the process of how that bill got through, who made comments. And then the chair of the committee, not the chair of the committee, the senator that overseeing the process has the findings and intent and puts together their analysis of the bill. And then after that, it's voted by the committee. So there is some process. It's voted by the committee. And then it goes on to the Committee on Rules to put it available for it to be on the session. And then it has to be voted on the agenda. And the reason why this whole thing is so important, even the transcripts of what was said during the public hearing, is because AI, once it's put online, then AI picks it up. So when you go on AI to say, what happened with Bill 143, and the 143-38 in the Guam legislature? Has it been passed, or what are the issues with it on AI, right? And you go to Gemini,
chat, quick query,
Microsoft Copilot. Those are the ones. Try and stay away from chat box, chat box, because there's issues there. But anyways, there's one called Claude. That's very good, Claude. And it's free too, depending how much verbiage you put in. Type it in, because then that AI information pulls data from everything that goes online and gives you that information. So the less thing that we put down as committee oversight chairs for these bills, then it's not going to get to the public who's doing research.
I see.
So you've got to be accurate about what you put out on the web.
On the web.
Because that's how AI pulls.
It should be more informative, that's what you're trying to say.
Right, very informative. And as much information and data as you can get, even to a point where you're having a public hearing, you should not limit the time of questions from senators, because we're not experts. Like, none of us are experts with, environmental hazards, or experts in the healthcare, fields or anything from agriculture. We're not experts, but we have to teach ourselves by asking the questions to people who come in front of us. And if you don't allow enough time for senators to school themselves on it, and limit their time, that's an injustice. Because we're representing the people to do our due diligence.
And the people want to be involved, but the major complaint that I've been hearing is that those public hearings occur during work hours, and not everyone can attend. So I mean, there is always a leg for improvement. You kind of actually just answered one of my other questions, like what
you can send in your testimony. Once you hear a public hearing is coming, you're not able to make it, your written testimony gets into the record. And like I said, you can go on the legislative website to that particular bill once the committee report's out there and look for the testimony that you sent the senator that had that public hearing. And if your testimony is not in there, that's not good. You need to call that senator and say, hey, what the? Get it on. Get my testimony on. My voice matters. Make it matter. Stand up. And
so. Now that we discussed about the legislative process, I wanted to touch on the tourism future, because it's to me, as someone who started first work career in Guam in tourism industry, and now what I'm seeing is so heartbreaking and heart crushing. And we just had the GFS job fair yesterday happening. Those are about 100 jobs. That will have to shift elsewhere. Hopefully they'll find what they can use in the future to sustain them and their family. My heart goes out to all DFS employees. It's just a very misfortunate situation. And I remember when I was talking to you and your colleagues during the vape ban that I went to strongly oppose. I kept saying, you guys don't realize that we have 100 jobs that are on the line. And that is the same what's happening today with the GFS. But of course, both industries are not treated the same, but they're also very important, because that's a tax contribution. Doesn't matter what industry you are. It's a legal industry, and wiping out 100 jobs is just insane. Let's just put it that way. And the current issue with tourism, there was so much scrutiny on the board of directors, on the current general manager, right? There's so many different facets of criticisms, and the public is just really tired of grand plans and nothing happens. And there was some very interesting exchange during one of the public hearings I can remember.
I must have been there.
Yes, you were. Strong opinionated woman. You didn't mince words in that particular.
It's important to people to understand, and not, like I said, say a whole paragraph and only a small point. Just get to the point. And I don't want to mislead anyone on the question either. This is the question I have, and I'm sorry to be so blunt about that, but you feel free to answer, how you feel.
Right.
I'm going to make sure you're answering the question I asked you and not veer away from that question, which most people will do if they don't want to answer the question. If you don't want to answer the question for me, then just say, Senator, I don't want to answer that question. And that's your prerogative. You can say that, but of course, because you're in front of us. And, but yeah, that's kind of how it rolls. But anyways, like you said, the tourist industry, those 100 jobs is not just affecting 100 people, it's affecting them plus their family. That 100 affects maybe 500 jobs.
There's a multiplier effect, definitely. Yeah,
totally.
Absolutely.
And it's just what's happening in the world right now, where the economy is driving a lot of people not traveling anymore. It's becoming so expensive, in every. I brought up the fact about the airline tickets, and in order to get tourists to Guam, they fly here, correct?
Yeah.
We're doing great with staycations, on Guam. That's great, and I just hope those businesses that have jet skis and stuff, like, give the locals a break, please. Please give them a break. They're trying to keep your business alive. But when you have these high costs and fuel, like you said, what's happening in the Middle East,
I mean, what we
it's
have at
going
50
to
cents.
lower any travel for anybody, not cost, but because of the anxiety that's coming on.
Yeah.
So GVB's not there to blame, for it. They're doing everything they can. Some of the stuff that they're doing could be questionable, but you gotta try something. That's their idea. Let them, whoever in the reign to do this, let them try. Obviously, the governor or the board felt this person is able to do it, and I say that with a smile because, how does people get jobs? You know? I hope it's because they have the great credentials or the know-how or these, but let them try. If they don't do well, then they need to leave. They need to step down and let somebody else come in and do the job. And I mentioned that during hospital, when we had all those public hearings on Guam Memorial and nothing moving and it's still in disarray. And I said it straight, well, director, or if you can't do the job, then maybe you should retire.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and allow somebody else to come in, because you've been sitting there for 4 years. And our hospital is not getting any better, don't you think?
I mean, that's dirty. I mean, you were one of the public officials that also needs to hold accountable the head agency, and I completely agree. I mean, we the people are not blind, we're not deaf, we're not stupid. We want to see the improvement, and the more we are critical and the more questions, the better for us as a collective peoples, right? So I completely agree. But moving from tourism, one of the topics was how are we developing the Taiwan market there, right? So I hear a lot of even business people who are very much in favor to attract Taiwanese companies to open up shop. We can attract them as an investment. They can possibly help us with building a small manufacturing opportunities. We're in a great opportunity. We're excluded from the taxes. I'm looking for the word. So there are so many things that we can do. And when I heard something about, well, are you trying to stifle the Taiwanese? I think that was a valid question, because if you're not focusing on developing that market, and I was there when we were trying to actively back in 2012, alongside with China, with Russia at the time. We had all those new markets, and Taiwan was part of the play. So if we're trying to, just because this market it doesn't look good or it's a loser, I think that's the wrong idea that we're having here, and I completely agree. Because a lot of people out there, I keep hearing from real estate developers to people who are in various retail industries, etc. They're all saying the experts are saying we need Taiwan more than they need us. So we need to go and get them. And how do we do that? Well, maybe we put GITA together with GVB, put one branch maybe together, which is going to be the entrepreneurial/tourism branch. Do that, because we cannot afford ourselves to wait anymore. I mean, who knows what's going to happen next year, correct?
A lot of times the questions I ask, my slogan is "Tell it to Telo and unbelieve me." People tell it to me, all the time. So you need to do your research, and part of that research, hearing what people have to tell you. I get calls from agencies all the time, people who work in the agencies and tell me things that are going on in there. Now, of course, there's always 3 sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. So you got to be careful, when somebody's telling you something, is there ill intent to try and jeopardize a person's job just because you don't like them, or are they obviously, doing something to favor themselves? So you have to put all that into perspective, and that's what I do before I ask these hard questions. But when you get people coming to you and giving you that information, that's worth asking the question and doing your research, like, okay, what did this person do to, make you think that they did something that's not, favorable for GVB or thing. So this is not, and people don't realize the opportunity for that individual to come clean. And if a rumor is spread about this person, then I'm giving you the opportunity to clear your name and ask that question too. And then when they answer, it's not only me judging the person is being genuine or honest. People of Guam can listen too on that answer they give and make their own determination whether that person is being truthful or not. You can kind of tell, like I said, people of Guam are not dumb. They can look right through you if you're being genuine.
Absolutely, I agree.
So
Andrea, are we out of time already?
No.
What do you think?
Well, like you said, just like the appearance, we can take our time. But we got a lot of feedback as well. In the
Oh, we can take
calls,
awesome. Right?
Do tell.
Yeah. So we have first of all, Doinia said. Dave Doinia said, you two look like you have great chemistry here. You two look really great together. The topic.
Born on the same day.
Yes. And he said that, the topics that you guys you women, were really great. Great topics, and you actually kept the audience engaged. Steve Lazama, he also said, or not Lazama, Steve Amaguin, apologies. He wanted to thank the senator. He said, half a day. Thank you, Senator Telo Taitague, for introducing 3-38 regarding Gov Guam's DV plan.
Oh, yes.
I hope your fellow senators will find the best solution to address those issues. And then I can go on. There's actually essays.
Really?
In the comments. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, we did great. And always, always ask the tough questions, and do tell us how you feel, because we're here to help you navigate the treacherous oceans of politics.
And when women speak, even though we're loud, I mean, my father taught, like I said, taught me to be humble, but be strong, and say what's on your mind. Don't beat around the bush. Just say what's on your mind. So don't misinterpret, that as being someone who's trying to be mean or anything like that. I mean, people think that, oh gosh, she's a mean senator. No, if asked questions is saying that I'm mean, then I'll own it. I'll own it. But no, I think a lot of people want me to continue to ask
the right
just
and
like
the tough questions.
That's it. When you become a senator, Bistra, you've definitely got to ask questions, because a lot of senators won't, because they feel that, I won't get reelected if I don't. But I tell you, you want to be able to sleep at night.
Sometimes you have to do the unpopular thing to do the right thing. Correct? So
if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, no, and truly believe today was good and just for the people that you serve, that voted you, and there's a lot of people that rely on you. When you had a lot of votes on that last election, and to think that many people believed in you. Gives you the energy to ask those hard questions and for them. And whether I continue to be a senator or not, I know that I did the best I could, and I fought for those people who felt that their voices didn't matter, and they do matter. They really do. And to be a senator, morals, ethics, honesty, and
what a great
that's all you need.
Closing remark that was, because what you say will resonate with many people. And let's not forget again our sponsors. Thank you, Jeff, Pirates Cove, the Guam Directory, Save Our Startup, and of course, a Center. Thank you. I hope you had a great time. I had a blast. And I hope our audience really liked that open, unfiltered, and honest conversation. I will be bringing you more exciting guests, folks, in the future. So stay tuned and listen with possibly in 2 weeks, because I will be leaving for spring break. My son can't wait to go to Tokyo, and I will be reporting how are they dealing with their tourism from over there. So
excellent.
Stay tuned for that. And with that, Andrea, thank you for being here as well.
Thanks, Andrea. Thank you.
And with that, folks, thank you very much for being with us. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow, Sunday at 10:30, live here with the Guam's most favorite pirate and the gang. So we have another exciting guest for you tomorrow, and I can't wait to see the promo for that one. I love the promos; they're super cool.
They are.
Can we announce who's coming tomorrow?
Is it confirmed?
Yes, it should be.
Pete Santos, right?
Yes.
All right.
Attorney
So
General,
our next candidate for Attorney General, Peter Santos. Stay tuned. They will be very fun and interesting.
Be safe. Eat cake.
Bye, Guam.
Bye-bye.
Time to go.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for die Guam. Hear that I come alive from just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our start up loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. How good nya to man, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true, sick a year we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Everybody now, Guam-first. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to 2 months, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Hafa Hour, Guam-first. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam-first. Everybody now, one-filtered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for truth seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.